Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do the beer stuff here. Long time coming on this one. Long time I've been waiting for this kind of beer to drop from the Hop Butchers. We are talking about this beer is, we're not going to say the title yet. We're going to say a bourbon barrel aged barley wine. Oh yeah, buddy. Bourbon barrel aged barley wine. Near and dear to my heart. One of my favorite styles. One of my favorite breweries. Let's see where we get with this sucker. It is called Resplendence. Resplendence? Okay. Don't know what that means. It's a bourbon barrel aged barley wine coming at 16% alcohol by volume. On the bottom it says finish strong. It was canned on 210. We are at 320. So a bit over a month old. Tasting notes on the back are rich fruit, sweet caramel, and decadent whiskey. I would say one of the weaker Jetza labels. It's just a bunch of bubbles. It's still classic Jetza all the way, but I'm not going to sit here and gush over it. It's because this is a barrel-aged barley wine from Hop Butcher. This is, kind of like a hard one to do, because I've been pining for them to bestow upon me in the world barrel-aged barley wine. But coming from Chicago, there's some big shoes to live up to when it comes to said things. So we'll see where we land. So, like I said, label, cool, fine. Yeah, just not my favorite Jets of work. And as far as the beer goes, we are off to an absolutely stone cold stellar start for a couple of different reasons. So, looks what I want from a barley wine. Rich, deep, dark browns. Has that beautiful malted malt ball colored head, but most importantly, I assure you, even though it probably wouldn't show up on camera, you cannot see through this. This is hazy murkiness. To me, almost exclusively brownish beers, Belgian quads, Belgian darks, barley wines. Man, when they're hazy on top of barrel aged, there's the success rate. If we're going to go dive into metrics and analytics, their success rate, their I wish I could throw out. I wish I remembered enough about football. There's the win per, or no, that's baseball. It's like wins per replacement, or their WAR is extremely high when they're hazy. So, yeah, I mean, it looks all the part. Just this doo-doo dirty brown, just beautiful malted malt ball colored head. Exactly what you want from a barley wine. The nose. Ooh. I'm curious. About this one. This isn't knee-jerk like, oh my god, my doors are blown off, but there's some coolness going on here that I can see this turning on taste. And there's something weird, and I can see it being like, okay, that's fine. Can use a little time. The burnt brown sugar thing, the burnt brown sugar molasses thing is off the scale here. Very much caramelized, very much almost to the point where you're just burnt it too much. But just stopping short of this. Just stopping short of even being kind of smoky. That's the kind of way this kind of comes off. So it's very, very cool. So you get those richer, darker sugars, creme brulees, and your again, burnt brown sugars, creme brulee. You get what I'm getting at. These kind of more decadent, figgy datey, toasted kind of thing going on here that you'd expect from a really beautiful English style barley wine. If this is American, when I'd say getting the taste, I'd be very surprised. Even though, that bittering thing can definitely jump out at you, because it's not essentially a aromatic. I'm not getting this huge precursor to a tannic hop, which you can get aromatically. So I'm assuming this is an English style barley wine. Good God. In a very, let's call it this way, toasty barrel. We're just gonna dive in. Cheers, y'all. Man, it's got the bones. That's delicious. It really is. There's a couple kind of like on it that kind of leaves it short of being like, let's just say it, Rev Revolution level kind of a barrel-aged barley wine. But man, you can tell who's ever brewed this, who works at the brewery, they've had their fair share of English-style barrel-aged barley wines. It's heavily datey, which is really, really cool. You know, I do the whole date figgy thing, and that's, I just don't do it. A lot of people do it. Very much a staple in barley wines, but more so Belgian beers. Date and figginess for me is English barley wine with age or Belgian beers. And it has this distinct, huge, really kind of juicy, pulpy, date figgy thing that I love to no end. There's a tannicness to this, so you can tell there actually was a decent amount of hops when this beer was initially brewed, but it's fallen off. So I don't want to speculate too much when I do beer reviews, but it's almost like they used older hops to begin with, so they started off with a little bit of a leg up on this. So you get this little bit of tannic vibe on it, a little bit of herbalness, but nothing too crazy. So you know you're dealing with something that was decently hopped, but by the time you get it, it's English in soul through and through. So you get that date and figginess, this richness, this nice little kind of what is that flavor? It's like if you crumbled a bunch of fig into a cup of tea. That's what I'm trying to lay out there for you in a super non-bittering, ultra non-aggressively tannic kind of way. And then once you get on the other side of the thing, the bourbon side of things, it's a little hot. I mean, I think this beer is canned, let's see, like I said, a month and a half ago is what I said. So, it's relatively hot, relatively fresh for... Let me remind that. It's relatively fresh for how fresh it is. It's not nearly as hot as you would think it would be. Mouth feels absolutely exquisite. This is so fun. And it's one of those weird things, and I've talked about this before. It's like, I really do enjoy my hot butcher beers. They're not infallible. There's been some misses. And when I go into this, people think, oh, you like the brewery, you enjoy the brewery, like the people that work there, you're just going to be inclined to give more positive thoughts than not. I think it's the exact opposite. I expect more, and considering where they live, and they have some of the most epic barley wine producers in their vicinity, it's living up to a very large set of shoes, like I said at the get. And I think they did a fantastic job of this. The one cool thing about it, one of the additional cool things about it, because I've mentioned several already, its uniqueness, that tannicness, that tea-likeness, on top of that figgy-datey aggressiveness. It's not something I get. I get those flavors in these beers, in those English barley wines, in those aging English barley wines, in those Belgian beers. But I don't get it to this level. And I think that's a really cool kind of thumbprint on this that I hadn't really gotten much. I'm sure I've tasted this maybe level of that before in certain beers, but in this combination from brewery, it hasn't produced anything like this, at least from what I've had. I think it's a very, very cool take and a very, very cool style. Yeah, this datey figgy tannic kind of, but still English at the core barley wine with this barrel-aged deliciousness. Man, that's a fun beer. That's an absolutely fun beer, and I'm glad I got to try it. Thank you very much for sending it off, Hot Butcher. And yeah, I don't even know what else to say. I keep repeating the same things over and over, but it's so distinct, it's so direct in what it's trying to do. It just makes sense to talk about it that way. So let's cut to the chase. It's one of the better barrel-aged barley wines I've had. I was like, yes, Mount Rushmore status. See, that's where this is very, very difficult. It's worthy. It's worthy being up there. If the mountain was 6 heads, it's a yes. If it was 5 heads, probably yes. 4 heads, a little bit harder. It's worthy. Is one of my more favorite American barley wines, barrel-aged barley wines? And that's a distinction. Favorite. Maybe I should be a little bit more defined. I just want to talk about its uniqueness and its own personality. And that in and of itself, I think, gives it a little bit of a leg up. You know, just because it's not a carbon copy of Rev, of what a lot of other people do. It has its own distinct personality to it, and that I can fucking appreciate. Valiant availability, no idea. Like I said, they sent it off. You know, at Chicago, you know, 4-packs of barrel-aged barley wine can get up there. So I'm curious if any of you out there have purchased this. Please let me know what you paid. And leave you with if you like what we like this. If you like barrel-aged barley wine. Honestly, you might drink this and find it a little bit too more aggressive on that tannic side of things. Or, you know, the way that date and figginess come. But I think if you really do enjoy barrel-aged barley wines, I think you really do enjoy this. And I'm infinitely curious to see how this ages. I have 2 cans. I'm going to tell you flat out, that other one's going to get drank. I don't have the willpower to not drink it, but yeah. I'm curious. I think this might be a long haul ager. There you go. Reviewing the books. Hopefully you enjoyed. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive. Ooh, down there. Talking about down there. Hot Butcher. Have you been to the brewery? Have you been to some of their tap rooms? Have you had their beers? What's your favorite Hot Butcher beer? Have you had this beer? All that fun stuff down there. Hopefully you enjoyed the review. Hopefully you enjoyed a little bit of a, barrel-aged barley wine right now. And hopefully see you next time. Cheers all.